Let's talk Govee lights. Are they just a fun gimmick, or are they genuinely a good product for you to purchase? Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now that I am a fan of these, okay? But feel free to continue to watch me go through the trouble I had with it, as well as, the things I like about it and whatnot. As you can see, I have two. Well, you can't see one of them. You can't see either of them actually. But okay, so I have one of the light bulbs in my main floor lamp, and then I have a Govee floor lamp, like an actual Govee floor lamp, back behind the cardboard cutout right there. So, yeah. And the reason why I asked if you think it's useful or a gimmick, because let's see, for example, if I change this to red, now it might not show up red on camera, but no, it is red. If I change this to red, that's red. I can change it to, all kinds of different colors. Like, let's go with green, which, I might actually consider doing in the future. Like, if color matching my stuff, like, say I'm going over this, which this is the Razer pod. Let you control your volume and whatnot. Or let's say I want to go over like an Elgato product. Maybe I'll do blue or something. And that's just fine because it seemed to, well, right now yeah, it seemed to actually make the theme good enough. Now, if I wanted to go overboard with, let's go to green again. If I wanted to go overboard, overkill, remember that light bulb I said I had just over there off screen? I could also make that green. And then here's what you get. It's more than just an undertone, but I'm going to change that because it's messing with the webcam. See, what I did is I programmed my Stream Deck. Feel free to check out my thoughts on the Stream Deck. I think it's genuinely a good product. I programmed them both to, with the touch of buttons, to change the back one and the other one to, a regular color, like a regular color you would see a regular light have. And then, of course, I can turn off the back one if I want. I can technically turn this off, but that makes it too dark. I can't record the video, so I'm going to leave it on for the purposes of this and because it's one of my main light sources. Now, you can program this with, by default, you can program this with Alexa, okay, by default. See, it says right here, Google Home and works with Alexa. So by default, both of those are there. But like I said, I have a video. I'll put in the link in the description on how to make it so Siri can control stuff. That said, it is a little more steps to do it with Siri than with Alexa or Google, because those are already pretty much integrated and you're using Siri shortcuts in order to do the task. So it's actually executing shortcuts, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you use Alexa, then you're going to have a little bit of an easier time. Again, video description below. Feel free to check it out. And yeah, I personally don't think this is a gimmick because I use it as my main light source. I'll be honest, I like being able to be across the room and stuff and just have my phone or my device turn off my light or even my watch. I don't have my watch on right now. It's charging. It's okay, it's done charging. Okay, my watch. I can literally have my watch turn off and on stuff too because I use an iPhone and remember how I mentioned Siri? Yeah. So yeah, that is pretty cool, honestly. So yeah, being able to do it with like your watch is pretty cool. Now, speaking of your watch, technically there is a Pixel watch, right? Or Samsung watch, Android watch, basically. So I actually don't know the full extent as to Google Home with watches. I assume it's a similar experience. I could be wrong. But yeah, I personally, like I said, I use the features of turning the light on, turning the light off the most, being able to have it change colors is icing on the cake, and it's actually useful for certain scenarios. And also, I would like to point out that and I personally learned it recently. So I'm going to give you guys this advice, okay? Which is just because something has a lot of features doesn't mean you need to use all of said features, okay? So definitely keep that in mind. I use some of the features some of the times, then other features other of the time. Sometimes I literally just use the light on, light off feature. So that is entirely up to you what you choose. But that's what I think. That's my full review of the Govee lights. Now, this specifically is the Govee RGB WW. And I think the W is like an extra white or something. And then the back one has similar colors and whatnot, the floor lamp that's behind that cutout over there. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with you on that. And yeah, feel free to let me know if you plan on picking up a Govee light or if you have a Govee light or if you get to know that you could have Siri do stuff on the light for you. Yeah, feel free. Hopefully this helped you in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's my honest thoughts about Govee lights.